Hey there, YouTube. This is Erica from Kendall Ice Arena, here to give a short, brief ballet warm-up for my ice skaters during their 4:45 Tuesday afternoon class. If you are in that class, welcome. If you're not in that class, feel free to hang around, do a short little warm-up. We're going to do butterfly, pike, stretch, straddle, and the warm-ups, what I call my secret weapons for splits. Let's get started. So for butterfly, you sit down on the ground, put the bottoms of your feet together, heels, toes, and we can flap those butterfly wings. For my youngest students, we will always ask, what color butterfly do you want to be today, and where would you like to fly to? So let's take a moment while flapping our little butterfly wings. Think about what color butterfly you would like to be today. And where would you like to fly to? And if you would like, please include those comments in the comments below, okay? Nose to your toes. Smell those stinky toes. Pew, pew. Take those ankles, pull them in a little bit tighter. Flap those butterfly wings. Stretch the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Practice that ballet posture in the neck, lifting from the chin, shoulders down, ballet posture. That nice soft gaze straight ahead. And nose to your toes. Very good. Next is the pike stretch. Stretch those feet out in front of you. Sit up nice and tall and straight on those sits bones. You want a nice, tall, long posture. Make sure that you are sitting up on your posture and making your spine as long as possible. You don't want to sit forward. You don't want to reach back. I don't want to see reaching for the toes like this. What we want to do is sit up nice and tall and straight. Neck is long, chin is lifted, shoulders are down. And then you lift your arms up over your head and reach, fold at the hips to bring your belly button down to your thighs and reach for those toes. Take a moment to enjoy that stretch. While you're down there, if you want more intense of a stretch, you can flex those feet. Try to keep those knees as straight as possible. If you need to bend a little bit today, that's fine. You always want to take your stretch to where you are today, and over time, you lengthen those muscles, and they'll start to sink down lower and lower, and you'll find that you're becoming more flexible. But you have to do it every day. Good. Let's do that one more time. So let's practice those pointing of the ankles and the flexing of the ankles. Point the ankles, flex the ankles. Now, I had a gymnastics coach that would tell me, flex so hard that your knees straighten so hard that your heels come off the floor. So if you can get those heels off the floor, do. If you can't, that's fine. It's a tiny little hyperextension in the knees. What we really want, though, is that these quads are engaged, your hamstrings are engaged, your calves are engaged. Reach up nice and tall and straight. Ballet posture, chin is lifted, neck is long, shoulders are down. And fold yourself in half. Good. Let's move on to the straddle. So again, I always advocate for stretching as far as you can today. Take your muscles to that place where they start to feel the stretch, but they're not so much in pain that you have to back off of the stretch. So you want to be feeling it a little bit, but not too much. Take that straddle nice and wide. You're going to reach over to your right toe. At first, let's go straight over to the side. So you feel all of the muscles up through your ribs. You should feel a nice stretch over the top of your body there. Over to the left side. Over the body. Feel it all the way from the hips, across the ribs, all the way across the top. And again, keep checking in with your legs and your feet. Keep your feet engaged because that will keep the rest of your muscles down, your leg engaged. I don't care if you want to flex or point, but just don't let it relax. Relaxed feet mean that these muscles are not engaging. So either choose pointing or flexing, but I want to see one of those two. Over the top. This time we're going to reach for the right foot, but we're going to twist, look for that foot, and you're going to try and bring your belly button down to your thigh. So you're going to reach in this direction. Good. And then you're going to turn and look at your left toe. Again, keep that ballet posture. Chin is lifted, neck is long, shoulders are down. And reach for that left toe. Remember to breathe through your exercise. And out. And before we go to the middle, we're going to do one more time over to one side and then the other. This time, this is always very, very fun. You're going to twist and then lean backwards. So we went straight over to the side, we twisted and reached forward, and now we're going to twist and go over the top of the body, looking up at the ceiling, trying to put the back of the head onto the leg. And breathe. Use your breath, and you'll find if you release, you may be able to get lower with each of those little breaths. Over to the other side, and breathe in, and breathe out. Breathing in, breathe out. Breathing in, and out. Good. Bring it up nice and gentle. And then we're going to reach to the center. Again, I don't want to see a curve in the back like this. As I demonstrated earlier with the pike stretch, when we pull back with our belly buttons like this, it's not getting into the hamstrings and the glutes where we want to stretch those muscles. So as soon as your back starts taking the stretch here, you're never going to reach those toes because you're just in a curve and it's just never going to happen. It's the same thing for the straddle. So even if your legs are in a straddle stretch, the same thing, if you're reaching forward here with your body in a concave or contracted position, it's just not going to happen. So we really want to ballet posture, keep it nice and tall and straight, and then you'll reach out to the front and try and get that belly button down to the ground. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Now, if you'll recall, I always talk about a 6-breath rule. Optimally, you'll be doing each of these stretches with 6 breaths in each position. Nice deep breaths that are relaxing and deepening into those positions the further and further you go. Last stretch for this video. Secret weapon number 1 and secret weapon number 2 for the splits. Secret weapon number 1. Starting in a kneeled position, we get into a proper lunge by extending one foot out to the front. Leave your foot where it is, and then you're going to bend that front knee so that it is perpendicular to the floor, straight up and down in relationship to the floor. You do not want to do this stretch, and I see it all the time. This stretch right here, not going to stretch the hip flexor the way we want it to stretch. May also hurt some joints a little bit, okay? So stretch that foot out in front, leave that foot where it is, lean that body out in front. What we want to feel is these muscles in this hip flexor here in the front of this back leg. These are the muscles we're trying to stretch, okay? When you come into this hip flexor stretch, you breathe, relax those muscles. You may feel it from the belly button down to the knee, anywhere in there. And that is fine. Those are the muscles that we're stretching. Breathing in, breathing out. For more of a stretch, You can bend that back knee and get more intense of a stretch in that quad muscle in the back. Don't relax your core, but let those muscles each stretch in between. That is what I call secret weapon number 1. What that is doing is stretching the front of the back leg. If you can take 6 breaths in this position, whether you're only here, and I say only here, I don't mean only here. This is an intense stretch. So if this stretches you a lot, do this stretch. Feel those 6 breaths. This is going to stretch a lot in that hip flexor. But whether you're here or if you add more of an intense stretch by bending the back knee or reaching around with another arm, you can either reach around with the opposite arm or with the same arm. Okay? All of these stretches are going to work on that hip flexor stretch for your splits. If it feels like it's stretching for you in a good way, there's a good chance that it is what you need to do for those muscles. Okay? That is secret weapon number 1, stretching these muscles here. Secret weapon number 2, stretching the backs of the front leg. Those are your hamstrings. Multiple different ways we can do that. I think my favorite is just a very simple, almost a half pike stretch. And you can do that with your knee down. You can do that sitting back on that back heel. For more intense of a stretch, you can do that with a flexed foot. And the last version is what we call the triangle stretch in yoga. And that's up on both feet, and you lean forward, really get into that front hamstring. Again, for more intense of a stretch, you can flex that foot. And use your 6 breaths. When you feel like you have worked through the muscles, you should be able to slide all the way down into your split. Again, splits do not happen overnight. Another one of my coaches used to say, you can't get a split in a bottle. That means that you can't just buy a potion and magically have a split. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the work. And that doesn't mean that you have to be working super hard all the time, but it does mean at least 5 minutes a day just doing these stretches. Secret weapon number 1, here. Secret weapon number 2, here. And then both of them together, here. And all of that should eventually get you to where you want to go if your goal is to get the splits, okay? But you have to put in the work. Step to the side, big sweeping bow. Step to the other side, big sweeping bow. Keep stretching, keep breathing. We're all gonna get through this together.